Welcome back to my channel, Warth Old Coins. Today is best top for coins one you want to miss. We're diving into the world of America. Coins please. Don't skip this video. So let's get it started. Top 1. The 1981 1-cent coin of the United States, popularly referred to as the Lincoln penny, is part of one of the most iconic and longest-running coin series in American history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln cent holds deep historical, patriotic, and numismatic value. The 1981 edition of this coin continued the standard design that had been in place since 1959, featuring Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse front and Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse back. The obverse displays a right-facing bust of President Lincoln, framed by the inscriptions "In God We Trust" across the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1981 to the right. Just beneath the date, a small mint mark, either AD for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia, can be found. Coins from the San Francisco Mint, intended primarily for collector-proof sets, bear the S mint mark and were struck with polished dies for enhanced detail. One of the defining characteristics of the 1981 Lincoln cent is its metal composition. It was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, commonly referred to as bronze in numismatic terms. Each coin weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, 0.75 inches, with a plain edge. This composition had been used since 1962. But 1981 marked the last full year before the transition to a lighter zinc-based composition in 1982. Due to the rising cost of copper, as such, the 1981 penny is among the final generation of full copper pennies regularly struck for circulation. Collectors often value this detail, as copper cents tend to age better, with richer color tones and fewer structural issues compared to later zinc cents, which are prone to corrosion and damage if the thin copper plating is compromised. On the reverse side, the 1981 penny features the Lincoln Memorial, flanked by the words "United States of America" at the top and 1 cent at the bottom. Between these phrases sits the Latin motto "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one." Gasparo's design also includes a remarkable detail: tiny statue of Lincoln seated within the memorial, visible under magnification. This makes the Lincoln cent the only U.S. coin to portray the same person on both sides. The design not only honors President Lincoln's legacy, but also symbolizes American unity, equality, and leadership. In terms of production volume, the 1981 penny saw massive mintage numbers, with over 7.4 billion coins struck in Philadelphia, 5.5 billion in Denver, and 4.0 million proof coins in San Francisco. Due to such high numbers, regular 1981 Lincoln cents remain extremely common in circulation today, and their face value is still 1 cent. However, coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can be worth 10 to 50 cents or more, depending on luster, strike sharpness, and overall quality. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast and flawless surfaces are even more desirable, especially among collectors building year-by-year Lincoln cent sets. Although no major varieties, like double dies or off-metal errors, were reported on a large scale for the 1981 penny, it is possible to find minor die cracks, cuds, off-center strikes, and RPM's repunched mint marks on some specimens. These error coins often attract collectors interested in anomalies and minting mishaps. One subtle and collectible difference in 1981 S-proof cents involves the Type 1 and Type 2 mint marks. Type 1 features a blurry or filled S, while Type 2 has a sharper, clearer S. The Type 2 version is scarcer and typically commands higher value among proof collectors. From a historical perspective, The 1981 Lincoln cent reflects the United States economic environment in the early 1980s, a time marked by inflation, fluctuating metal prices, and looming changes in currency production. It stands as the penultimate copper cent before the major 1982 transition, making it particularly attractive to collectors who value coins for their metal composition and pre-modern minting traits. Its durability, traditional design, and abundance in circulation make the 1981 penny an excellent example for beginners entering the hobby, while specialists still seek high-grade proofs and mint-state examples for registry sets. Top 2. The 1982 1-cent coin of the United States, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, holds a special place in American numismatics due to a major composition change that took place during that year. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln cent features his right-facing portrait on the obverse front side, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions on the obverse include, "In God we trust" along the upper rim, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln's bust, and the year 1982 to the right. Below the date, a mint mark may appear. D for the Denver Mint or no mint mark for the Philadelphia Mint. These basic details remained consistent in 1982. But the year became incredibly complex due to the transition in the coin's metal content, creating 7 distinct varieties of the 1982 penny. Until mid-1982, all U.S. 1-cent coins were struck using a 95% copper, 5% zinc alloy, commonly referred to as bronze. These older copper-based pennies had a standard weight of 3.11 grams. However, in an effort to reduce minting costs as the price of copper had risen significantly, the U.S. Mint made the decision to switch to a copper-plated zinc composition, consisting of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. These new coins weighed only 2.5 grams. Making the 1982 penny the only U.S. coin ever issued in 2 different metal compositions within the same year. As a result of this transition, 1982 Lincoln cents were minted in 7 major varieties. 1982. Large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc 1982, D large date copper 1982D. Large date zinc 1982D. Small date zincate is important to note that no 1982D. Small date copper variety has been officially confirmed by the U.S. Mint. However, an example discovered in 2016 shocked the numismatic community. This extremely rare coin N apparent 1982D small date copper penny is now considered one of the rarest modern U.S. coins, fetching tens of thousands of dollars at auction if authenticated. The difference between large and small dates is a visual design variation in the number 2 and the height of the digits. The small date has a more delicate appearance, while the large date is bolder and thicker. Collectors often use a magnifying glass and a precise digital scale to identify the different varieties, especially since weight is the main indicator of the metal content, the reverse back of the 1982 cent features the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo and first used in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse includes inscriptions such as United States of America across the top, E pluribus unum just above the Lincoln Memorial, and 1 cent at the bottom. Interestingly, inside the memorial you can see a tiny seated statue of Lincoln, making the Lincoln penny the only U.S. coin to feature the same person on both sides. Over 10 billion 1982 pennies were produced across the Philadelphia and Denver mints, making the coin extremely common in circulation. However, due to the multiple varieties and transition period, 1982 pennies are widely collected for educational and investment purposes, while typical circulated 1982 cents are worth face value. Certain varieties, especially in uncirculated, Condition MS65 or higher can fetch $1 to $10. The rare 1982D small date. Copper has sold for over $10,000. Due to its accidental creation and extreme scarcity, the change in composition introduced other challenges, particularly with the zinc core pennies. The copper plating is thin, and over time, exposure to moisture and air can cause the coin to bubble, blister, or corrode, especially if the zinc is exposed. This makes preserving zinc pennies in high grade more difficult than copper ones. As a result, uncirculated copper 1982 pennies are often preferred by collectors for their durability and historical value. Top 3. The 1983 1-cent coin of the United States, commonly known as the 1983 Lincoln cent, holds a significant place in American numismatics, both due to its historical background and its unique minting characteristics. This coin belongs to the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909, honoring the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse front of the coin features a right-facing bust of President Lincoln. Above his head is the inscription, "In God We Trust." The word liberty appears to the left, and the date 1983 appears to the right, with a small mint mark below the date depending on the mint facility. No mint mark indicates Philadelphia, while D indicates the Denver Mint. The reverse back of the 1983 cent still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, a design that had been in use since 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. The inscriptions include United States of America across the top, E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one just above the memorial, and 1 cent below it. Interestingly, Lincoln's statue is visible inside the memorial, making it the only U.S. coin with a person visible on both sides. What makes the 1983 cent especially notable among collectors is its metal composition. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from making cents out of 95% copper and 5% zinc bronze to a cheaper composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. By 1983, all cents were struck using the new zinc core with copper plating, making 1983 one of the first full years of production for this lighter, less expensive version. However, a few 1983 cents struck accidentally on copper planchettes left over from earlier years are known to exist. These rare copper 1983 cents are highly valuable and can sell for thousands of dollars if authenticated and graded by professional coin services. A typical zinc 1983 cent weighs 2.5 grams, while the copper version weighs about 3.11 grams, a difference that helps collectors identify them. Another interesting variety is the 1983 double die reverse DDR cent. In this variety, the lettering on the reverse, particularly 1 cent, E pluribus unum, and United States of America, appears doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. These DDR examples are highly collectible and can fetch prices from $50 to over $500 depending on the grade and clarity of the doubling. In terms of mintage, a 1983 cent was produced in large quantities. Over 7.7 billion coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and more than 6.4 billion at the Denver Mint. Due to this high mintage, regular 1983 cents without any errors or varieties are not rare and are typically worth face value 1 cent in circulated condition. In uncirculated condition, a 1983 cent may bring 5 to 20 cents. And certified high-grade coins MS65 or above can sell for a few dollars, especially if they show strong luster and no contact marks. Collectors are particularly interested in these coins because they represent the beginning of the modern era of cents, made primarily from zinc rather than copper. The change in metal composition introduced problems over the years. including coins corroding or appearing blotchy when exposed to moisture or air due to the instability of the zinc core under the thin copper coating. Top 4. The 1966 1-cent coin of the United States, widely known as the Lincoln penny, is a historically significant piece of American currency that represents a blend of political symbolism, artistic legacy, and a transitional era within the U.S. Mint's operations. This coin, part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909, features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, the first real historical figure to appear on regular American coinage. The obverse front of the 1966 penny was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it displays a right-facing portrait of Lincoln, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," along the top rim, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1966 to the right. Notably, no mint mark appears on any U.S. coin struck in 1966, regardless of whether it was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This was due to a temporary policy put in place to combat public hoarding and ease the coin shortage. Crisis of the mid-1960s. The reverse backside of the 1966 Lincoln penny, designed by Frank Gasparo, features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Above the memorial is the motto E pluribus unum, and flanking the image are the phrases United States of America and 1 cent. Hidden within the memorial is a small depiction of Lincoln's seated statue, making this coin the only U.S. denomination to feature the same person on both sides of the coin. The reverse design replaced the original wheat ears reverse in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and remained in use until 2008. The 1966 penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a bronze alloy that was standard at the time. Each coin weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters with a plain edge. The high copper content gives the coin its distinctive reddish-brown tone. Although in circulation, many develop a deeper brown color over time due to oxidation. The composition and appearance of this penny make it notably more durable than later pennies struck after the 1982 transition to copper-plated zinc. A unique historical context surrounds the 1966 penny. In the early 1960s, the U.S. experienced a severe coin shortage, primarily due to rising silver prices, public hoarding, and vending machine expansion. To stabilize coin production and reduce collecting-driven shortages, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which not only removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters, but also allowed the U.S. Mint to remove mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967. The idea was to discourage the public from hoarding coins based on rarity or origin. As a result, all 1966 pennies, regardless of whether they were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, were struck without mint marks. This makes identifying the origin of a 1966 cent impossible through visual inspection alone. In terms of mintage, over 2.1 billion 1966 pennies were struck, making it one of the more common Lincoln cents of the era. Because of this, circulated 1966 cents typically hold only face value. Although coins in uncirculated condition, mint state grades can fetch between 20 cents to $5, depending on their luster, color red, red-brown, or brown, and strike quality. Coins that have been graded MS65 red or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC may sell for $10 to $50 or more, particularly if they show no signs of wear or contact marks. Proof coins were not issued for general circulation. In 1966, instead, the Mint issued special mint sets, SMS, which were higher quality strikes produced at the San Francisco Mint, though still lacking the frosted detail and deep cameo contrast typical of modern proofs. These SMS coins, especially those in pristine condition, are sought after by collectors, while no major errors or rare varieties are widely known for the 1966 penny. Minor die varieties such as die cracks, cuds, and struck through grease errors can be found, as with most high mintage issues. These types of coins can be worth modest premiums, depending on their uniqueness and condition. Coins from special mint sets also vary in quality, and high-grade SMS examples with strong strikes and original red color can be worth several dollars or more. The 1966 Lincoln cent serves as a reflection of not just numismatic design, but also of American economic policy and public behavior during a time of transition. The removal of mint marks, the introduction of new metallic compositions in other denominations, and the introduction of special mint setsol are emblematic of how the U.S. Mint adapted to changing times and public pressure. From an artistic standpoint, the coin also represents enduring respect for President Lincoln, who remains one of the most celebrated figures in U.S. history. His image, which had once been considered too sacred for coinage, has become one of the most recognizable in the world thanks to the Lincoln cent. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.